the ride goers, the participants, the passengers, down safely and have a nice soft landing on dirt and not a splashdown. So that's impressive. I'll give it that. But why, these ladies? You're trying to make it an empowerment thing. You're trying to show that women are just as capable as men at doing things. It's a farce. That part of it was a complete joke. And then there were the photo op opportunities. I guess at one point, the capsule comes down, and there are the parachutes that slow them down. And then right at the end, right when the thing is barely above the ground, compressed air fires out the bottom, and poof, like an air hockey puck. It gives it this moment where it comes to a complete stop for a split second, and then very softly from, 6 inches high. So you get a very, very soft landing from that. And once that's done, they're not shutting down systems. They're not in there, making sure the liquid oxygen tanks are secured and, all the things that real astronauts have to do at the conclusion of their mission. They could have left the capsule the second it touched the ground. And one of the indications of this was that someone opened the door. They were trying to make this big dramatic thing where Bezos finally gets there. First of all, the camera crews and Jeff Bezos and all the family members and the media, they have to drive from where they watched the launch to where this thing touches down. And it's only 11 minutes from the launch till the time this thing touches down. And it's a longer drive than that. They have to know exactly where this comes down. They have a pretty good idea. So they have to wait for that because that's the photo op moment. You don't want the camera crews to pull up and the girls are already out, brushing their hair and making sure their spacesuits are just so. So they got to sit in the capsule like real astronauts have to do when they're actually doing something. And then Bezos comes and all the other friends and family and especially camera crews, the news, they show up and they got to set up the cameras. And Bezos brings out this little stairway and puts it up by the door. And you see the door opened. Someone inside opened the door because it's only reasonable that the door would have a handle on the inside. You want them to be able to get out in a case of maybe some kind of emergency. I don't even know what that would be. But Jeff Bezos has like this lug wrench and he's walking around and, they're waiting for the perfect time where he uses this like lug wrench thing and opens the door. Someone already opened it. And then this woman that's with Bezos walks up the ladder and kind of closes it again. And she's trying to stand in front, but the camera saw. It's open. They're fine. There's no venting that need be done. But they did a little more showbiz, make sure the cameras get set up. And then they individually start bringing the astronauts out. And Bezos goes to open the door. He puts the lug wrench on and he goes to turn it. And someone on the inside just opened the door again. It was so fake. And a lot of people are trying to say that this is proof that the whole thing was fake. They're like, no, I don't believe the whole thing was fake. It's not. It's impressive that we reached a point where you could shoot a few BIMs into technical space without them contributing anything. But it's not impossible. It's done. It's being done. People watched them launch, go up. You could keep your eye on it the whole time. And then it came back down and they watched that whole progression. So to say it didn't happen is a little naive and a little over conspiratorial. So when people saw that the door opened and Jeff Bezos didn't open it, They're like, see, phony, it's fake. There is no space, flat Earth, firmament, dome over the planet. Yeah, shut up. You could call it bullshit. You could say it sucks. You could say this is stupid, but it's not fake. It did happen. And another thing is the fact that the door opened inward. Most capsules open outward, and that is they latch it very securely because the capsule's pressurized up in space. But there were problems with Apollo 1. The Apollo 1 mission, there was a fire inside the Apollo capsule. 3 astronauts died, and they couldn't open the hatch. The inside of the capsule was pressurized, and since the capsule door opened in, it was pressed so hard from the pressure against the capsule doorway that they couldn't open it and escape from the fire. So they just burned in there. So most of the hatches now on space capsules open outward. They open out. And this one opens in. They're, technically speaking, they're in space, but there's still an element of atmosphere that they're in. And the insane pressures on the vehicle aren't the same. And another thing that people say it's fake. Why, when the SpaceX Dragon capsule comes back from the space station, it's charred. It's like burnt up. And there's a heat shield, and it's all burnt. And this thing comes back, and it's totally white and totally fine, not a scratch on it. And again, that's because they just went straight up and straight down. The rocket got them going as fast as they could be going at that altitude and with that time and with that rocket engine. And then they shut the engine off and they separate the booster and they just coast and then come back down. And the speeds at which they are contacting the atmosphere when they start coming back down are nowhere near the speeds needed to work up the friction that would necessitate a heat shield. When those Dragon crewed capsules come back from the space station, they're orbiting at over 17,000 miles an hour. And the only way to come back from orbiting is to slow down. That takes you out of orbit. And the Earth and its gravity once again goes, gimme, I'm taking that back. And you contact the atmosphere at an incredible speed. And it's literally, people think the atmosphere is hot or something. That even if you were coming through very slowly, you'd burn up because somehow, the atmosphere is fire? It's hot? There's no difference in theory and in principle of a heat shield on a capsule hitting the atmosphere at 17,000 miles an hour and heating up to that point than there is you rubbing your hands together and it gets warm. Look at me, I'm Mr. Wizard today. It has to do with molecules reacting to friction. And molecules speed up, they start moving more, they generate heat. And when a rocket hits air molecules, that alone is enough to build up an incredible amount of heat that they need a heat shield for. But only if you're doing 17,000 miles an hour when you hit the atmosphere. So that's why it's completely reasonable why there aren't any burns on this thing. I mean, look at the fucking ship. It's a bouncy house. They sent a fucking bouncy house with big windows and a bunch of bitches to go straight up and straight down and call themselves astronauts. So I think we do have a clip of them all screaming and having fun and, yelling as they are in space or re-entering. Do I have more space? Is that what it is? I think that was the clip, Sean. Maybe more space. Let's take a look. Can we take a look? There we go.
Got it? 1, 2, 3. Taking up space! Tamir's in space. Flynn, behind you. Look right behind you. It's okay. Leave Flynn up there. Flynn, behind you. Look. Flynn, I gotcha. I gotcha, Flynn. Gotcha.
Stuffed animal.
Proud of you, Flynn. Flynn, can't lift it up. Oh, the moon! You guys, I will have to tell you, look at the moon.
You guys!
That's amazing. Wow, look at the blue line. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Pause for a second. Look at the moon. And then look at the blue line. You mean Earth's atmosphere, astronaut? Is that what you're talking about, astronaut? Look at the blue line. The big yellow one's the sun. The big yellow one's the sun. The blue line. Yeah, it's the atmosphere. Did you read about that in your string theory books or listening to watching Cosmos with Carl Sagan? Did he ever bring up the blue line? Oh my God. It's embarrassing. You'd think you'd want to know more and not just lie about, oh, I'm interested in aeronautics. No, you're not. The blue line. And look at the capsule. Just the fact that these broads can be up there with nothing protecting them from kicking anything, because there's nothing of any use or control in that thing. There's no controls in it. You're in a bouncy house that they somehow got up a few 100,000 feet, 300 and something thousand feet. But it's still a bouncy house, big windows, girls just bouncing around in there. And it's embarrassing. I mean, honestly, if you were a woman who trained to be an astronaut and had a flight on the space shuttle and were integral to that crew, I'd be looking at this and going, you fucking fuck off, astronaut, my ass. So yeah, it's a little insulting. And again, if you're looking at this and thinking it's empowering women, it's embarrassing women. They get up there and they start screaming, hooting, and hollering like a bunch of fucking girls. There's no science going on here. This is girls going on a ride. Well, go to YouTube and look at girls, when they go on the slingshot ride. Woo! Their tits fall out and shit. It's the same thing. They react the same way if they go on fucking the Harry Potter ride or whatever. So it's insulting to astronauts to call them astronauts. And yeah, they're not doing anything. Their hair is all over the place, and they're wearing like high-heeled boots. They're dressed for a fashion event, not for space flight. All right, let's watch a little more astronauts.
Our pink moon.
Okay. Now it's time to look out.
Yeah, the
Oh
Bahamas.
my gosh. So much. Oh my gosh.
It's an N in zero G.
Whoa. That's amazing.
That's amazing. I don't even think they appreciate what that really is. I think they look and it must, the colors and everything. It's like a pinwheel, spin a pinwheel in front of one of these dummies' faces and they'll give you the same response. I don't think they get profound part of it. Oh, I felt just the love. Like I felt, that I haven't heard one thing out of one of these bitches that even came close to when William Shatner did it. And believe me, the Shatner thing was, again, just a publicity stunt. He wasn't sitting in the captain's chair, telling that fag Sulu to take us to warp factor 5. He was a passenger, and he knew that. And he looked out the window, and he saw the same thing these ladies saw. And when he got out of that capsule and the media asked him what he thought, what are his first impressions of what he saw, it was incredibly profound. And he was able to express that in amazing detail. And you know, for people that haven't been there and done it, it's very difficult for these people to explain what it was like. And I think Bill Shatner, he got the emotions and the feeling of insignificance as a single person looking at the earth, and the fragility of the atmosphere, because he didn't say the blue line, going through that atmosphere. And he said when it goes from blue sky, because like being in a plane at some point, and then you get higher and higher, and very suddenly that blue sky disappears and you're in blackness, and you see that blue line, the atmosphere over the earth, and you realize how fragile the whole system is. And Shatner just had a great way of putting it, because he's a guy. He's a man. And he understands the significance, the profound experience that he just went through. The blue line was pretty. Look at the moon. Ooh, our spacesuits. We put the ass in astronaut. That's literally a quote. Yeah. Katy Perry said that when they saw the spacesuits and put them on, and they were very form-fitting. We put the ass in astronaut. We're bringing glam to space. Like, that's what bitches do. Oh, God. Becoming very misogynistic. But, yeah. And then I guess there's one more. Here's the women. And again, we've watched men. We've heard the microphones of men after reentry when the parachutes come out and they touch down, splash down in the water. And it's very to the point, like a pilot, you know? We're shutting down these systems. Welcome home, Discovery. And they're like, good to be back. This, you hear, they scream like a carnival ride, like a roller coaster. They're screaming at every little thing that happens. Oh, the parachute. What was that? Like, if you were training to be an astronaut, you'd know what every sound was. But they get all scared at the parachute and the air burst when it gets close to the ground. Let's listen to how women deal with re-entry.
Those are like the guide parachutes. There go the drogue parachutes.
Just free falling right there until those drogues came out.
And then next will be the main parachutes that get pulled out.
Screen.
Hear that screaming inside the capsule?
It's a very soft landing despite the sporty perception. There it is.
Cackling, laughing, screaming bitches. Space is no place for that kind of behavior. But hey, congratulations, Jeff Bezos. Great publicity stunt. I hope more people use Amazon now because you launched some BIMs into supposed space. The final frontier.